All right, guys, I'm back again with another video, and today I have a huge accomplishment for you guys to share. I finally hit 100,000 on my 90-day total on eBay, and if you don't know what that means, basically eBay tracks your past 90 days in sales. So basically, I've had 100,000 in sales, mainly in video games and electronics, on eBay in the last 90 days, and that was a huge accomplishment for me. I never thought this would even be possible. Not many people make it to this point, and I wanted to share with you guys 10 ways that I think I was able to get there. It was definitely a grind. If you're just starting out on eBay, do not expect to be anywhere near this. This takes years and years and years of grinding every single day, and it takes a lot of work. But if you're willing to put in the work, I want to share 10 ways that I feel that I was able to get to $100,000 in sales in 90 days. Reason number one was consistent listing and consistent shipping every day, and just being consistent in general. Every single day at 7 or so in the morning, I come down here and I list at least 10 things. Recently, I've been doing like 20 a day. I'll come down here, list 10, 20 things, and I'll ship every single day when I come down here. I'll drop off at the post office every other day, but I'm now recently in the last 5 months or so, I've been shipping literally every single morning. So eBay likes when you're consistent like this. Buyers like when you're consistent like this. Everyone knows when they buy from me, their stuff's going to go out quick, and they can check my store daily for new cool things every morning. Reason number two that I was able to get to 100,000 is every day I list very quality in-demand items. I'm not listing a bunch of junk that nobody wants. Like, I'm listing things that are very popular, and I try to list things for over $100 every single day. And I pretty much do, especially with game system. Like, I list at least a console a day, so it's pretty easy to do that. I feel that's really important. I feel like a lot of people, especially early on, just list a bunch of low-end stuff. And I get it because, you don't have the capital to buy expensive things. But as time progresses, if you really want to get up there with how much you're making, you're going to definitely want to be listing items for over $100. So yeah, I think that was obviously listing expensive things that are very good quality listings definitely is going to help you get to 200,000 in 90 days. Reason number three, and I think this reason's very undervalued. I don't think many people talk about this, is being super quick to respond to messages. Like, even just a minute ago, someone bought a Sega Genesis and they were asking me a question, and I responded, and I'm getting the notifications on my phone. I responded in literally like 30 seconds. He's like, dude, thanks so much. That was the quickest response I ever got on eBay. And I feel like a lot of people don't really care about this. They're just like, oh, I have business hours. I'm trying to be a business, so I'm only going to respond at this time of day. It's like, no, if I'm awake, I'm going to answer you within probably a minute at tops. So if you send me a message, and especially if you bought something and you're, having trouble with something, I'm always here. I'm out. If I'm, long as I'm not sleeping, which I won't be obviously during the day, I will respond to you very quickly, and I will have an answer for you. As well as being just super responsive, just when people ask questions, or even if people offer less, if I have something up for $100 and someone offers me 20, I'm not going to be rude to them and say, you asshole, why are you offering me this, or I wish you could buy it for that price, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, I'm going to politely say, hey, I can't do less on this, or, I could do 80, or, whatever the case may be. I'm going to give them a response. I'm not just going to ignore them. And I feel like that's undervalued nowadays. Like, a lot of times when I write people on eBay, I don't get a response. So I feel like that's one thing that definitely sets me apart from other sellers. My number four reason, which this is pretty obvious, is having good quality photos. I have an iPhone 15 right now that I take my pictures with. You don't have to have some special fancy like DSLR camera or whatever, You can take the pictures on your phone. Just make sure you're in a well-lit area. I take all my pictures in a photo booth, and just make sure your pictures look nice. You want this to be, you're competing with other sellers. You want to look better than them and more professional than them, and you want people to look at your item and be like, man, that looks really nice, and I want to buy that. So it's really important to have good pictures. I see a lot of sellers that just throw the stuff on the ground, all dirty and nasty, and they're not going to get anywhere near what I would get for it. So if you really want to take this to the next level, make sure your pictures are great. And that leads into my number five reason or way to get to 100,000 in 90 days. And that would be clean your items. Like, I cannot tell you guys the amount of things that I buy on eBay that are tested and working. These aren't, for parts items, whatever. But like, if you're selling something that's working, you need to clean it. You need to make this thing look nice, and you want someone to buy it and say, wow, this is a nice thing that I bought, you know, I want to buy something else from this person instead of being like, ooh, they put no effort into this. I ain't buying nothing from them anymore. I feel like this is another thing that people don't really think about. They don't really care. They find it at a yard sale and they just list it. Like, you got to go through and clean. You got to add value to what you're selling. If you're just listing dirty garage sale items, you're only going to get dirty garage sale prices. So if you want to get a premium, you got to clean your stuff for sure. It's a big deal. And there's a lot of technique that goes into that. Maybe I'll make a video in the future of how to make your items very clean and very nice looking. My number 6 reason is, this is kind of debated, but I feel like it really helps me, and this is something I've always done. Literally free shipping on anything. I don't care if I'm shipping you this Pokemon game, you know, or if I'm shipping you CRT in the box, it will have free shipping. It does not matter to me. Because especially once you start learning all this stuff, you're going to realize even large items do not cost that much to ship. Like, I ship Apple II computers, and if you guys don't know, I mean, they're pretty big. You know, I ship them all the time for $15, $20. It's not hard. You use FedEx, you use UPS, and you just use common sense. You don't ship them priority. You don't do, you know, because, yeah, at that point, it's going to be too expensive. But price your items right. Do free shippings. Your buyers will like that you have free shippings. They feel that they're getting a deal. And it's just going to set you apart, because nowadays, most people are not doing free shipping on eBay. Like, most things that I buy, it's the shipping's charged. And another big thing that people don't consider when they're doing free shipping is, let's say an item simply is worth $100. Like, it sells all day long for $100. And let's say the person who's arguing, oh, I charge shipping. Let's just say, for example, you're selling a Sega Genesis. They sell for $100. I'm going to list it for $90 plus shipping, because the shipping is going to be around $10. You list it, you mess up the dimensions or the weight, or you do some little mistake, you know, something happens, and the buyers are looking at your listing and the shipping's $50 or whatever, $40. You can't see, assuming you're doing calculated shipping, you as the seller can't see what the buyer is seeing for shipping. So you have no idea what you're even pricing your item at. So it's really stupid to me. And if you're doing a flat rate shipping, like let's say you're doing 90 plus 10 shipping to get to 100, at that point, just do 100 free shipping. It's literally, I don't get it. It's literally the same thing. So, and your buyers, they'll like the free shipping look better, because obviously on eBay, it's gonna when you're paying for the item with your credit card, it's showing the total after tax, shipping, everything. So there's no hiding the amount. So it's just, may as well just be honest and just say right up front what the price is going to be for your item total, and just make it simpler for the buyer. My number 7 reason is having great packaging. I do not skimp out on packaging, especially when I'm selling fragile items and large items like I do all the time. I will put the extra paper around it. I will, you know, I'm not messing around at all. Like, when you buy, especially like a console from me or a computer or whatever, it's getting shipped super, super, super well. Like, no questions asked. Even if it's not working, I'm going to ship it really good, because it's kind of like one of those things where if someone buys something from me, they open it, it's super clean, it's packaged well, it works great. You know, the seller's been, you know, good with me, you know, help me solve some issue that because they didn't know what they were doing or whatever. It's going to make them want to come back and buy something else from you. It's common sense. Like, if your stuff is well presented, well photographed, you know, well packaged, well, everything's good about it, you're going to have a better chance of someone buying more stuff from you, rather than everything's good, but then once they get delivered to their house, they get it and it gets damaged, or there's no packaging and it just looks lazy. They're not going to be as apt to buy from you again. So again, even if the item doesn't need that much packaging around it to not break, just do it anyway, just because it's gonna make you look better and stand out. Number 8 is that I'm an expert in most things I'm selling. I'm not selling too much these days that I really don't know about, and if I don't know about it, I'm literally gonna say in the description, no clue if this works, I don't know anything about, you know, vintage audio gear and blah blah blah. It is what it is. But anything I'm selling is tested. I'm pretty much very familiar with it, and I'm super experienced in it enough to say that it is tested. So I think being an expert, a lot of people are everything sellers, and obviously there's tons of people that are very successful with that. But for me, I feel like I have the most success when I'm honing in on something that I know super well. Like, I know this, I know I can pick out every little variation and any little thing that's going to be good about it, you know, or bad about it, and notice things that other people wouldn't notice if they weren't as familiar. But I think being an expert in the stuff you're selling is a huge, huge deal. So if you're thinking of doing this, try to, especially if you're already collecting something, which is a great way to start on eBay, is if you already are a collector of things. That's how I started. I was already collecting this stuff way before I even sold on eBay. That is going to help you big time just from being knowledgeable on this stuff. So know what you sell. That's all I'm going to say. And number 9, this is something I've been doing more this year than other previous years, is to do lots of things. People love lots on eBay. They're getting tons of things at once. And of course, if you're buying a lot, you're going to get a better deal than buying everything on its own. So people do really like lots, whether it's a bunch of common low-end stuff together or some high-end stuff that kind of fits together, like, Pokemon game lot. Instead of selling each game for, I don't know, let's just say 50 a piece, price them at 45 a piece, put them in a lot, you'll save the money on shipping. So you're saving the money and the buyer's saving the money. So it's a better deal for both of you. So, and you're selling all the stuff at once. So doing lots has been huge for me recently. And again, I think it's something people don't really think about, especially with low-end stuff. Like it drives me crazy when I see these sellers that have 10,000 listings on eBay and like 500 sold. Like they have the worst sell-through rate in the world. And all their listings are just $5 Wii games individually like listed, like $5.65. They just go on price charting and they see the game and they just put it for that. It's like that's not how any of this works. Price charting is pretty much irrelevant when listing things on eBay. And it's just it's so funny to see those sellers. Like, you'd be better off, you'd be having fist fights if you put those Wii games in a lot for $5 a piece, and you're going to make way more money rather than shipping them all out on their own. But anyway, it's just kind of a mindset shift that you have to make. Just doing lots. You're going to sell more, you're going to make more, and you're going to move more inventory faster. So there's really no way to lose on it. So yeah, doing lots. And number 10, the final reason why I think I was able to get to this milestone is being honest about things. I'm so there's so many people that just lie and, will have some part, not take a picture of this side of something, because there's a little damage, or not say this because hopefully they won't notice, or don't do this. I'm literally straight up. Like if something has any kind of issue that I notice, even if it's the littlest thing in the world, I will say it. Like I'm not afraid to say the flaws. I feel like it just makes you look it just makes you better. Like, lying about that stuff is not going to get you anywhere. You're just going to get more returns. You're going to get more complaints. People are going to get the stuff. They're not going to be happy with it. You'd rather people be like, oh, this is better than I thought it was going to be. I'm so happy I bought this, rather than them getting it and saying, oh, I thought this was mint, but on the side of the box it has a rip in it. It wasn't shown in the pictures. What the heck? That's just a bad experience, and the buyers, they will remember that, and you will get punished. So yeah, that's it. I could think of more reasons, but that was the quick, I just wrote down a little list here of 10 things that I thought helped me get there. And this milestone, I can't even believe that it was even possible. I'm a single person, I don't have like a bunch of employees and stuff like that. I'm not in a building. I'm literally in a basement. So to be able to do that is insane. And I can't believe it. So yeah, anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. I'll try to answer you. I'm not as quick on YouTube just because I'm not making much on these videos. So it's not as much as an incentive, and I'm not really trying to be like I'm not really trying to be a YouTuber, I just do these videos because I think they're fun to make, and I think some people out there will benefit from them. So again, if you like the video, subscribe if you want, or don't, whatever. So yeah, have a great rest of your day. Bye.